Tough topic today, y'all. Tough topic. You know, we do not steer away from tough topics. What happens to your kids, to your children, when you leave a narcissist, or when a narcissist leaves you, when a relationship with a narcissist or a toxic person ends? What goes on with those little tiny bundles of joy? What happens? If you're new here, my name is Hammock. I'm a diagnosed narcissist, and I give you an inside look at the mind of a narcissist. What happens to those kids when you decide to leave a narcissist? So this is tough to talk about, y'all, because so many people feel like they are stuck in relationships with narcissists because of the kids, right? And you hear this all the time. So many people say, I stayed for the kids. I didn't leave because of the kids. I'm still here because of the kids. I'm afraid what will happen to my kids if I do decide to leave this toxic relationship dynamic. And I'm here to tell you that sometimes they can be an error, right? This is not me passing judgment on some people or anybody, right? But sometimes they can be an error because you think staying for the kids protects them. A lot of times it ends up staying for the kids, ends up doing more harm than good. It really does. Because so many times when you're dealing with a narcissist, like, let's just say you stay in a relationship with a narcissist. 100% of the time, y'all are together, that y'all living together, y'all are cohabitating together, right? 100% of the time, your children are in toxicity. 100% of the time. I know that the other parent, you think you're protecting them, but 100% of the time, those children are in toxicity. They are. Because this is a toxic, abusive household. The narcissistic person is like the household is a black cloud because of the narcissistic person, because of the aura or the presence of the narcissist in the household. The household is kind of steeped inside of is steeped in toxicity. So 100% of the time, the kids are in a toxic environment. I know you protect them. You might step in for them and things like that. But the household is 100% of the time is like a toxic household, right? Because the narcissist is living there. If they're on vacation or if they're at work, that's different, right? But 100% of the time that narcissist is in the house, the household is toxic. People are walking on eggshells. Your kids feel like they are being covered up and sealed up and things like that. They feel like they can't express themselves fully. So 100% of the time they are stuck. So I'll say this right here. If you decide to leave a narcissist or a toxic person, right? You decide to leave, it gives your kids, like I said, the opportunity to at least have peace sometimes, right? Let's say you have split households. And let me stop right there real quick, y'all. Money, everybody's situation is different. This is not me trying to say you need to get the hell out of there right now. Everybody's situation is different. Some people haven't worked in decades. Some people, you've been a stay-at-home parent for a decade. There's no work history. You have no access to finances. Your support system is non-existent. I'm not judging y'all. I'm telling you, this is me just trying to wake you up and let you know what's actually going on, right? So this is not me passing judgment on those who cannot leave right now, who just, you can't go to a shelter. There's so many different things, right? So this is for those right there. I had to say that because I don't want y'all to feel disrespected or just like I'm attacking y'all, because I'm not. Right. I'm trying to empower you. Got it? Good. So if you do decide to leave, that means that the time that the time that the kids are not with their narcissist, right? The time that the kids are just with you, it means that the kids are getting 100% or getting at least 50% of some freedom, right? They're getting 50% freedom. They're getting 50% of not being in a toxic household, not being in a toxic environment. They get 50% of the time, or if it's 50-50 custody, right? You might get more custody. It might be 75-25. It might be, they just might get every other weekend, right? And some phone calls, whoever knows whatever it's going to be. But they get a break, right? And yes, they might have to go to the other parent's house, the male, female parent, the other parent, whoever they are, right? They might have to go to the other parent's house, but at least they get to come home and get some free time. They get to come home and get some peace. The kids deserve peace. They want peace. So when you leave a narcissist, they get the opportunity to have some peace when they're with you. And I know this doesn't sound fair, but most of the emotional labor is going to fall onto you anyway. When you're dealing with a narcissist, most of the emotional labor is going to be on you. So it's just like you can't really do anything about that right there. Most of the emotional labor is going to fall onto you, and there's really nothing that you can do about it. But that's a good thing because you get to emotionally reaffirm your children. So when you leave your narcissistic ex or partner, whoever it is, If you decide to do that, you get to reaffirm your children every single time you see them. You get to your kids feel emotionally safe. They have a safe place to go. They have a safe space to thrive in, which a lot of people don't get an opportunity to do, right? That's what happens. That's what goes on. Seriously. So if you're dealing with a narcissist, this is something that you have to think about right here. At least they get some peace when we're not together. But what else happens when you decide to leave a narcissist? What else happens? What else could go on? Y'all, your kids get the opportunity to thrive. I promise you. So many people, when I'm doing my one-on-ones over Zoom, mentalhealness.net, so many people are telling me, hey, Lee, when I left, or when my narcissistic partner left me for the new supply, my kids actually felt better. My kids actually, I could see the weight and the fear lift up off of my children. I could see that the kids actually felt better. They felt safer. They were more open. They were talking more. They were playing around more. They were outside of their rooms more. They were joking with me more. They were more kind, caring, and compassionate. They were loving me, and I was loving them. We felt safe. We grew closer together. They would say things like this. My son, who lacked communication skills, who would not talk to anybody in the house, he's a chatterbug now. He was afraid to talk when the other parent was here because he would always get shut down. He would get told to shut the hell up, or you're stupid, or you're dumb. He would get chastised. He knew that he couldn't say he knew that nothing he would say would be the right thing to say to my abusive partner or my abusive ex-husband or wife or whatnot. So he would just be quiet. My daughter has now started to thrive. She wants to try out for cheerleading. She wants to do this. She wants to try out for basketball. She wants to play soccer. She normally just wanted to come home and sit in her room and read. She still reads, but now she wants to go outside more. Your kids get the opportunity to thrive. They do. They really, really do. They get the opportunity to be who they really want to be, to live their dreams out. And this right here, I'll tell you this, these are the stories right here that really, really kind of, how do I say this? This right here, these relationships right here are the tough ones, right? These are some tough relationships right here. Like when you're narcissistic, when your parent leaves, or the narcissist in the household is a step parent. That's rough right there, y'all. That's rough. When you bring somebody else into the household that's abusive, that is rough. Because your kids can start to resent you for bringing this new person in the house that's abusive to you and also them. Your kids can resent you. So this is like with the step parents, with your boyfriend or your girlfriend that you just met, that you bring into the house, that's now trying to isolate you and ruin your relationship with your kids. You got to wake up to that right there. Don't let a step parent or a new partner ruin your relationship with your children, because they absolutely will. A narcissistic step parent are some of the most evil fucking people on the planet. And I had to cuss right there. Some of the most evil people on the planet are narcissistic step parents. Evil. 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 I got some stories for y'all in my real life, but I ain't gonna say that because I have too much respect for my sister-in-law and them, but I got some stories. But my wife's family, I got some stories, but that's part of it. So your kids get the opportunity to thrive and be themselves and grow up. Your kids get the opportunity to reach their full potential. They get a chance to breathe and stretch their legs. But I will say this right here, and this is right here is probably going to affect a lot of people. It's not always sunshine and rainbows. I know I'm painting this image that the sun is out and your kids outside playing around, skipping, and you get the sounds of the laughter, like the kids are playing around. When you leave, sometimes that co-parenting is going to be a tough journey. It is. Co-parenting is a tough journey. I'm not just that's why I just tell people before you leave, think about it. You have to make a plan, because sometimes they're going to use your kids as leverage. Sometimes they will absolutely threaten to take you to court for custody. Right. I was talking to my wife about this the other day, actually, that if you have a narcissistic co-parent, right, that has not been involved in the kids' lives at all, even if y'all lived in the same household. They don't know the teachers' names. They don't know the allergies. They don't know the doctor's names. They don't know the birthdays. They don't know the middle names. They don't know nothing, right? If they threaten you to take you to court for full custody, most times that is just a threat. They want to go from not being involved at all, or for having one weekend a month, to 24/7, 365. Does that make sense to you? You go from having all this free time, 1 weekend a month, 2 weekends a month, to now you want 100% custody. Does that make sense to y'all? So sometimes I would just say, hey, call their bluff, but I know some of y'all don't want to do that because they might actually be, as I said, sometimes, in these spaces. So that's what I'm just saying, y'all. You are in a position of power. Don't let anybody else convince you otherwise. Please don't, because you absolutely have the power. You have the strength. You have the ability to continue to move forward and to continue to heal and to continue to grow, because you are you. I promise you. Your kids, give your kids to grow up. I feel like our children deserve to grow up better than we did. I feel like they deserve every opportunity in the world. You know, even though some of our kids they be getting on our nerves. I know they be getting on my nerves. I know I get it, right? But they deserve every opportunity that maybe we didn't have, that you didn't have, right? So love them, love your children, love them babies, and give them at least a chance at thriving, right? I know everybody can't leave, right? So if you can't leave, make sure you're protecting your kids. Make sure you're in there, you know what I'm saying? Giving your kids, hey, talking to your kids, making sure they feel emotionally safe with you. Because even though you can't leave or you stuck with money, stuff like that, make sure that you're having conversations with your children to let them know that they're loved. Let them express themselves so they can feel emotionally safe with you, right? If you can't leave, if you feel like you're stuck or you don't want to leave, some people don't want to leave, y'all. Hey, I'm not a judge. I'm not the judge. I try my hardest not to judge, right? Some people don't want to leave. You want to make it work. I get it. Hey, I said my piece. Click one of these videos on the screen right here to watch another video on the channel. YouTube, pick one of these videos. YouTube say, hey, this video is for you. Mentalhealness.net for my coaching, my courses, everything else. And hit the subscribe button, y'all. And I'm out. Peace.